Hi, folks, and welcome. It's not even a more. It's kind of. It was supposed to be a more civilized age. It kind of still is. I
It
won't
was
do one for
supposed to be a more
September.
civilized age, and then we decided, well, it might not stay super civil, so we probably can't call it that.
Oddly enough, here's a true story. So I had two subjects I was trying to figure out. One was I invited the guy, the Hand of Thrawn. Have you heard of this guy, Hand of Thrawn 45, who writes all this fan fiction?
No, I don't think so. That sounds cool though.
Okay. He writes all this fan fiction. He knows his stuff. It is, I've been reading the first Sword of the Jedi trilogy by him, and it is pretty good. And so I invited him to be on. Now, I haven't heard from him. It's been a week. I haven't heard from him, but he was one of the topics that could have come on and said something. Another topic, though, was actually you. You're not going to believe this, but some people on the internet don't like you,
Oh,
Ryan.
really? Is that
I
true?
know this comes as a shock.
Yeah, it's been rumored. It's been rumored every once in a while. A simple Google search or YouTube search will probably tell you that. Yeah, sometimes I'm not the most liked person. Tends to happen.
Sometimes, only sometimes. And I thought, well, if I could find someone civil to come on here and tell me exactly why, but I couldn't find where that would be civil. That's the that's the only problem that I had.
Yeah, I don't think so. I didn't even know that that was a topic. So to be really
It,
honest,
it was
Matt,
potential talk. It was a potential topic.
so Matt asked me, I think on Sunday or Saturday, you text me something like that. You're like, "Hey, you down to come on More Civilized Age on Thursday?" I thought I messaged him back. Like I saw the message. I thought I messaged him back. Yeah, sure, no problem. I'll be back from traveling then. And so Thursday today comes and it's like 9:45 my time, and I'm like, "Man, we usually do these around like 9 Central,
Yeah.
10 Eastern. I haven't heard
Pe-
anything. Let me just go
Yeah.
back and check." And sure enough, I never responded to Matt. I never said, "Yeah, I'm good to go." I just left him on red.
Well,
And so, yeah.
the thing is, I was even going to send you something baseball related this afternoon, but I thought I don't want him to think that I'm fishing for an answer from a previous text, so I won't say anything. But I saw that Twitter video about the couple up in A Stadium and the
What?
in
What
the
happened?
bleachers. Have you seen this?
No. Did they get caught having a good
Uh,
time or something?
yeah, well, I mean, I mean, why watch the A's when there's other things you can do?
Hey, I feel that. I feel that.
So yeah, yeah. And Lance, I reached out to you too. I didn't get well as of an hour ago. I didn't hear from back from you, but yeah, hello, Lance.
I,
Um,
I feel like I am a little bit to blame in general for tonight's stream, though. Because I don't think that I don't know if this article gets written if I don't invite Matt to do a show with me like 3 years ago.
yeah.
Almost to the
Oh,
day, bro.
maybe that's what he saw.
I don't know. I don't
I'm
know.
we're trying to figure. All right, so I would say if you don't know that there it is. Boom, you saw it too. That's hilarious.
That's good.
That is that is the lie. Yes, I shared it. Lance, I mean Scott, I shared it with Dylan because Dylan's my baseball buddy, and I said, well, at least the A's are seeing some action just outside of the ball field. Of course, Dylan didn't respond. He's not going to respond to that. Um, but Lance, I reached out to you on your last stream video. I put a little comment in there. That's fine.
So just to be clear, that
Yeah.
video I said almost 3 years ago to the day. That video I posted on August 22nd, 2019. So that's
Really?
3 years and 3 days
Wow.
ago is the first time I ever talked to Matt Wilkins, and we did a little interview, an
Yeah.
hour and a half, man, and we talked for like a long time before and after that
Before
too.
and after that, I remember that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's hard to imagine. You're in a whole new
Yeah.
house
No,
now. So am
it's
I.
oh yeah. Now it's completely different. Now I got a full house. That's
I'm
true.
in a new state. You've joined the
Yeah.
Fandom Menace. Like
I
everything's
joined the
changed.
Phantom Menace. I don't. Yeah, Van Skyver is and Jeremy and we just lead it. I mean, Jeremy's gotten this a billion times about being the leader of the Fandom Menace, but now my name's up there. And the funny thing is, the articles, And if anyone doesn't know, we're talking about this article from I don't even know where, El Paso, I don't know, or whatever it is.
Some Spanish thing, I think.
It's a Spanish article, which obviously means they didn't do much study on it if they have my name on here. But the only truthful thing in this whole article is, and I have to edit this sentence a little bit to make it truthful, is chances are you don't know who, and you got to scratch out Ethan Van Sciver and Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers are. You just got to say, chances are you don't know who Matt Wilkins is. That's all. If he could have put that in, he'd have had a 100% authentic, truthful article. He could have just stopped at that.
Yeah.
I think people know who Ethan Van Sciver is. You know, if you're on YouTube, a lot of people know him. A lot of people know Jeremy, you know. But yeah. So, and then everyone's goes, Matt, have you seen this article? Have you seen this article? Have you seen the article? Yes.
Yeah. I don't even, it's so funny how these things just pop up.
It pops up. And this one is the most nonsensical of any art. I don't even know. In fact, we'll do a, now on Ryan's videos, as you know, he sits there and he reads us the article. It's like a bedtime story. I love his soothing voice.
Yeah.
And how he pauses and talks about it.
That.
So I am going to just totally just rip him off, since I am now an official grifter, you know, and isn't that the name? I believe that's the name they call some of you.
Well, that's true, names. But I'll just make that, I'll make something clear, since I know you're a rookie at this.
Yes.
You know, please. To be a grifter, you actually have to make money doing this, Matt. So unfortunately, you're failing. You're failing at that.
So I'm failing big time at that.
I don't think that's really going to work.
All right, so I'm gonna. Oh yeah, that's right. The money thing. I forgot about that. So let me go ahead and bring up. Well, where is the article? There it is. There it is. I mean,
really, like, the only relevant thing is the first paragraph to you. You got to go up to the title.
Yeah, the only thing is that, oh, look. Oh, wait, here we go. Tim's here. Hello, Tim.
What's up?
What's up, Tim?
All right.
Matt Wilkins, Fandom Menace.
So here we go. Yeah, so here we go. First off, this is great.
That's a great piece of art. I should sell like a shirt like that.
I saw this and I was like, what? I didn't understand.
Somebody sent it to Alora, and then she just like put it in the private chat around like 7 o'clock or something like that, Central. And I click on it, and it's like the first paragraph, and I keep reading, and he never mentions you again. But it's just funny that
up in this article.
But how does he? I'm not saying, hey, you shouldn't be known, but how of all the people does he zero in on you? You know,
I feel like I'm failing.
I know this. It should be Ryan's name in there. Maybe it was just a typo.
I feel like this. I'll be real. I feel like this entire article was written in like 2018. Like that's what it feels like, because what they're referencing, the other the other article that they reference is an article from Rachel Leishman, which was written in 2018 about like Captain Marvel. Like that's where they're getting a lot of this information, a lot of this like background for this article. So maybe, I don't know, Matt, maybe in 2017, 18, you did have some videos that got out there and got your name known in the Star Wars community because of your pushback against, you know, what they were doing with Disney Star Wars and how you were promoting the expanded universe.
I guess. I just know at this rate, I'll receive a retraction by the year 2028. So get a retraction from that. So no.
Well, maybe. What was I going to say? Maybe it's kind of like expandeduniverse.com where you write an article and it takes months to, you know, finally post or something. So maybe they queued this up, forgot about it, and then finally it got posted. Maybe something like that.
Yeah. So here it goes.
I'm just busting your balls, man.
Yeah. Oh no, I know. It's fine. I was laughing because here I read the first sentence here and I got excited. I was like, what is this? Chances are you don't know who Ethan Van Sciver, Matt Wilkins, and Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers are. I was like, why is my, you know, it's like that old Sesame Street, you know, bit where they had like 4 chairs and then one bird, and it said one of these things is not like the other. It seems like I'm just
Right.
What is my name doing in this?
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect, Matt, but
No, I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
like
That's what I was saying earlier. No disrespect.
I don't really understand it. I mean, obviously, the person who wrote this is an idiot, right?
I mean, yeah, obviously,
He
this
looks like an
just
idiot
credit
too.
him from the very get-go. But again, I read through this and I really don't truly, I'm not trying to be facetious or, hilarious about this, but I don't understand what the point of the article was.
Oh, there's so many of them out there though. Like every 3 months.
This one is just nonsensical.
Most of them are though. I'm not kidding you. Like Variety, was it Variety or who was the big outlet? Vanity Fair. They even did one about 3 months ago, and you are mentioned in that one, Ryan. So
I am.
Good.
Ooh, nice.
Remember the big one, like all those series of articles that came out like around the time of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, that all kind of use the rewriting Ripley stuff and everything.
Yes.
Look who else decided to join.
Oh, look at
wow.
that. Hey, I think congratulations is in order, isn't it? Congratulations and welcome. I'm kind of a little bit jealous that my name's not up there next to those other names. Like, come on, man. Like,
well, here's the thing. I just Googled in quotations some of the stuff from this to see if it was out there, to Ryan's point, but there's nothing else out there. It's this article that I find. But think about this. The only people they generally go after are those that use their real name or what they think are people's real names, right? They're not going to go after, well, they do some of the bigger channels that don't use their real names, like Yellow Flash. But, some of the smaller under 10,000 subs, they're not going to go after you unless, they think they can use your real name and cancel you or whatever. That's something I've noticed.
So this entire article is about, they're leading the popular resistance against Disney. And then it describes things that happened in 2018. If you scroll down to the next paragraph, Matt.
I will.
Yeah, I want to show you, because it doesn't make any sense.
No, this doesn't make any sense because, okay, so just to go into this, and by the way, studying up, because one of the potential topics for a more civilized age, which Ryan already kind of ruined it doesn't matter. We record on Thursday nights secretly, and then I release it first of the month. We usually record the week before. And so I was coming up with some ideas, and a few people don't like Ryan for whatever reason. I don't know why. But I was trying to see, well, can I find anyone who can be halfway civil, to bring them on to just kind of talk about it? And I couldn't find, I think I found someone, but I was looking at, and there's a lot of people who really don't like you. I mean, I knew there were people out there, but I love the guy who has, I can't remember his name right now. He has tons of subscribers. I mean, 300 something thousand or whatever. And he called you Ryan Keinel. And I was like, dude, if you're going to go after him, at least know what his name, how to pronounce his name.
How to pronounce his name, yeah.
I don't know. Is it somebody that actually gets views, or is it one of those people with a dying channel?
I don't know, but he had a big, well, I say big subscriber channel. He may have, I don't know. I just popped in Ryan Kennel and then skipped over all of your stuff, and just, if it's not your stuff, it's people who hate you.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah.
Look at this. And I was like, well, maybe this guy can come on the show. And he goes, look at this beta, first off. I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
About 8 months ago, I'd sent a link to Ryan. It's some black dude in a beat up apartment room with all those 1970s doors and closets in the background. And every single video you make, he does a commentary on. And it's his camera's pausing and all that stuff. And it's crazy what you'll find when you search your name.
Bro, if you look on TikTok, I did that the other day because I was trying to find my own channel to look at. And I forgot that mine was RK Outpost. That's my TikTok, not Ryan Kennel. I searched Ryan Kennel. There are people that are getting legitimately millions of views, off reacting to my videos. So hey, listen, I'm helping feed people's families. So
and here's the thing, because I definitely want to get someone on here who does almost make their living. It seems like every third video has to do something to attack Ryan, and I will invite them on and ask them. I don't want to have you on at the same time because I think they're just going to be uncivil. But
yeah, I don't think it'd be very civilized.
It won't be. They can't be civilized.
I just don't understand what's so controversial about what Ryan's videos are that you can have a reaction video to that. Like,
this is how they get their views is by doing reactions to Ryan's videos. Like they have it playing, they pause it, stop, and go, "No, he's wrong, and this is why," and blah 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 blah. And okay, here's the thing.
We do that on EFAPs, though. I guess.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine if they want to do that. That's how. I mean, it's a good thing Ryan has a channel, or else they wouldn't have their channel.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have anything to do. First of all, I don't know. Personally, I don't know why you want to spend your time doing it. And if you don't appreciate someone, if you don't like someone's point of view, you don't have to watch. That's the funny thing about it. It's not like Clockwork Orange, where people are just forcing everyone to tune in to Ryan's channel. Right. Or for anyone's channel, for that matter.
Yeah. For me, at the end of the day, I'm criticizing like multi-billion-dollar organizations who I feel like are like significantly trying to impact the entire scope of the entertainment landscape.
Culture.
Right. That's who I'm talking about. If you're talking about me, that tells me a lot about you. That's all it says.
Yeah, it would be a less civilized age, Brian. I love that. A less civilized age. Just bring people on it. But seriously, I was scouring YouTube earlier this week saying, well, maybe I can find someone who just, has a calm critique. But oh man, so many people. And my favorite people are the people who are so full of themselves who act like they're taking the middle road. They're not taking either side, and therefore they are better than everyone. I'm here to talk about honest reviews, but to be positive in my love of movies. These guys are not positive. They do not love movies. And I'm like, okay, no, you're being condescending when he thinks he's being taken to eat. This is why you should watch him over all these other channels, because he is balanced and fair.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I know there's a lot of people out there that whether it's because they want to get attention or it does good for their channel or they want to get my attention, like whatever it is, I just ignore it. If you want to make videos about me, go for it. Like it's not going to impact anything I'm doing at the end of the day. And I feel like that served me pretty well.
I'm thinking after this is over, I'm just going to break down everything you said and I'll do a reaction video to it later.
Yeah, it'd probably be pretty good for your channel, Matt. Just saying.
I need to start making reactionary videos. Okay, so anyway, I just want to go down to this. It says, as cultural journalist David Bizarro explains. Okay, explain to me. I'm being serious. What's a cultural journalist? He reports on culture? I've never heard this phrase.
I don't know what culture, like... I've never heard of a cultural journalist. I've heard of like people who like study culture as like a professor or like teach culture. You know what I mean?
So not a real journalist is what they're saying.
Maybe. Well, is anyone a real journalist anymore?
That's true.
They take the pop out of it because pop culture sounds too, unprofessional.
Maybe.
So they just call it culture. Yeah. Because even like conservative outlets have a culture section, like National Review toward the back of the magazine has like a culture section. So,
but his name is David Bizarro. Is that a made up name? I don't know.
Sounds about right for what they're talking about.
I mean, he's Bizarro. So your main activity consists of pressuring Disney. Here's what Ryan does, folks. Pressuring Disney to ensure that the next. Well, I need to add Rhino to this because he does this heavy-handedly on his channel all the time.
I just don't get it. Yeah.
And as you know, Rhino, the mouse is watching your channel too. Pressuring Disney to ensure that the next Star Wars productions do not make what they consider outrageous concessions to the cultures of sexual and ethnic diversity and so-called gender ideology. Unquote. That's great. That's great. And then, of course, it goes into the whole Kelly Marie Tran, how y'all trashed her because of her Asian descent.
Had nothing. There was no one criticizing her for or criticizing the character she played or anything. It was all because she was Asian. It must be it.
Yeah.
Or the
not because she was wearing a potato sack with a terrible haircut and doing a stupid side quest.
Not
Yeah,
because she
otherwise,
said a stupid
terrible
line,
movie.
we shouldn't sacrifice ourselves for what we hate. We should give up for what we love, or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and the fact that no one bought her toys either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some
I mean,
people
they
did.
they
No,
literally
AVS did.
Yeah.
say what?
Some
AVS
people did to
did.
destroy
Oh,
them.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, that's because they were all at Dollar Tree, very cheap to get at the time. And here's the thing. The other thing is, and I loved, and Ryan, I know you did videos on this too, but just kind of showing it's not their color, it's not their gender, but literally people don't like them. Like I don't know the girl's lightsaber. I don't know names.
Riva.
Say what?
Riva.
Riva. They can't even fund that, and it's one of the lowest goals ever, and there just was zero interest.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guarantee if you had done like a Mace Windu lightsaber or something like that, you know what? I bet it would have got funded. Because people, it's not that people just, oh, we hate black characters, right? It's because it was a character that everyone despised for a multitude of reasons, zero of which had to do with their skin color. The problem is a lot of times the way that these series get promoted and even engineered, it's like with that forefront in mind. It's like we have to have this type of person so we can promote it this type of way. And as a result, that's all they talk about during the promotion of it. Yep, it's like people don't care about that. People care about who this character is, what their motivations are. Does it make sense in the story? Is what she doing makes sense with what they're trying to tell? Those are the like vastly important things in a story when people are connecting to characters. And when when you promote it as, well, what's this character like? When they ask, what's this character like? It's like, well, they're a black woman. What does that mean? Like, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. That doesn't sell anybody on it.
But it's also their criticisms of us. Like, it's kind of like with your whole thing with the Batman. You know, you said what you said about the black characters. It didn't mean that you didn't think that it was necessarily a good movie, but with the way things are being pushed. But what the people criticizing you do is that they only concentrate on that particular part of what you said. They take all the context away from it and try and pinpoint now you as a racist because you said something about there being, you know, race swapped characters, black characters, things like that. What the culture that we're in right now in regards to what's being pushed and what people are talking about, well, that is what's at the forefront. You know, what's important in character development right now is who they're fucking or the kind of person that they're fucking. You know, that's what's important right now. You know, the story that you need to be told isn't, you know, a hero's journey anymore or anything like that. It is purely, you know, look, I'm black.
It's a hose journey. Yeah.
Look, I like men. I like women. Whatever it is, that's what is important in storytelling at the moment.
And just to be clear, Rhino, I know that we've recently, you know, Matt Wilkins has come out. He's a toxic member of the Fandom Menace, like all of this stuff. This is a rated PG channel, okay?
Oh, it is too.
Yeah.
I always forget that. I've been on here so many times and I forget that. I'm so sorry.
I don't care. That's
you
fine.
Forget
no,
that.
You do care. You do care. And I should be more aware of that.
So I kind of sent an article to Ryan earlier tonight. So Daily Beast claims to have this exclusive that they let go of a bunch of executives at HBO Max. And all the article focuses on is what color they are. You know, and I said, okay, well, why don't we do this? Hire them all back, right? Or not them, but hire people of color back in those positions, all conservatives. Because if all you care about is the skin color, then hire Hispanic people and some black people, females, males, whatever else, but make sure, you know, that they vote Republican. Are you going to do that?
All of them have to wear MAGA hats to work every day.
Yes.
Yeah. If that's all you care about is the diversity quota. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. It works. All right. So the other thing here is that, you know, I'm skipping down here, but Daisy Ridley ended up leaving social media entirely because she was fed up with absurd and insufferable degree of toxicity of fan abuse.
Just to be very clear, Daisy Ridley left social media because she made a comment about gun control after a school shooting, and she got a lot of backlash for that. Had nothing to do with her role in Star Wars.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There you go. So, but remember, this article came out 2 days ago, but it's generating off information from 4 years ago. just in case.
It may, it could be because they found an old article from back then and then based the entire article in it rather than doing current research.
Well,
All you got to do is go to some people's channels. What have they been saying recently? But to me, to Ryan's point earlier on in the stream, it's almost like they found an article from back then that someone else had written, someone like a rewriting Ripley, and they just adapted it. And they're talking shit about Ewoks. I see there too. So
yeah, and I want to. Can you share? I know there was like some random ad over yours. Can you share my screen, Matt? Because the next paragraph is very important to show that this means nothing. The hashtag Destroy Death Star campaign is the group's aggressive and prejudiced followers' most recent feat. In this scenario, they claim Disney's the Death Star while they represent the Resistance. I was interested in this because I'd never heard of this hashtag. I'm around the internet a lot, right? So I did a search on Twitter. This is the latest instances of Destroy Death Star. 2020, 2020, 2020, 2016, 2014, 2000. So there has been what 10?
Hit refresh.
Oh man!
Like I said, I want my retraction by the year 2028.
Yeah, there's open airlock policy, destroy Death Star. Like there's nothing, man. Like this article is based on nothing. It's insane.
Look at your tabs, man. That's insane.
I'm working on a lot of stuff.
But okay, so anyway, I wanted to show this here, because this is a great paragraph. Okay, ready? Until now, geopolitical readings of George Lucas's universe followed a basic pattern. Progressives identified with the Republic, Richard Nixon, and Ronald Reagan's conservative counter-revolution were the Empire. The Ewoks represented Viet Cong guerrillas.
Wow.
Leia Organa embodied the galactic version of Jane Fonda, the American actress who traveled to Hanoi in 1972 in the middle of the Vietnam War. What is going on?
We've disproven this so many times with quotations from Lucas himself.
I don't even know Ronald Reagan
where they're going here.
I love that Ronald Reagan was the inspiration for a movie made in 1977.
I don't even know. I was like, where are we going with this? I know what happened. And then let me see. Of course, not all fans.
There's so much to unpack in that.
I mean, here's the thing. Oh yeah. It claims. Okay, so it basically just they think they're the rebellion. They, liberals are the empire. Okay, how many times we've heard that phrase flip the other way, where Trumpism is the empire and everyone who rises against it, they're part of the rebellion, they're part of the resistance. Yes, good versus evil. Oh no, you mean they're trying to color themselves as the good guy, as everyone does.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's the you said Leishman article.
Yeah.
Leishman. Okay, so this has been around since 2018.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, it's great. It has big words in here. Hold on, my favorite words that I had to look up. Let me see. Where is it? Nazi propaganda. That was I don't know where it was.
Matt didn't have to look that one up. He knows that one.
No, I know that. I watch your channel. So yeah. No, where is it? I laughed when I read this. It's like, I don't even know what that means. I got to look at that. Oh man, Van Sciver's taken among. Oh yeah, Van Sciver that's taken hold among a group of ignorant and historically unaware internet users. It's great. Dog. I can't remember.
Feminist, is that it?
But I had to, what?
Feminist.
No, that. No, I know what a feminist is. I watch Rhino's channel. Oh, I'm kidding. Let's see. Where is it? I laughed because I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. I mean, I literally had to look up I don't remember now. I guess it's not in here, but.
Damn, he's going into the Knights Templar and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of goes everywhere. And I'm like, I don't understand.
It's such a weird
It's such a weird article.
Well, and don't forget that El País is like a Spanish language newspaper across the pond, I think in Barcelona, Spain. So most of their articles are in Spanish. So keep that in mind. So a lot of
maybe
this
the name Matt Wilkins was lost in
like
translation.
Wilkins.
Oh no, here Van Sciver's videos were, and here's the word, erudite.
Yeah.
I've never heard that word before.
Yeah, that means like, yeah, you know what it means.
Based off study. Yeah, no, I had to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, look at that. Learned a new word today. Anyway, wow, that was some crazy stuff.
They're still erudite, like when he broke down the He-Man and Masters of the Universe from the 80s intro, you know. Tell me that's not erudite.
I know. I want to bring in someone else here. I have an idea, Lance, how you got the link to this.
Yeah, little friend of mine named Chris.
Yeah, you didn't have to tell me that.
I was looking for your comment on YouTube, but I couldn't find it.
Oh, okay. I put it on one of your streams.
Maybe you forgot to hit okay.
Matt's a boomer, so it's like he'll leave like a comment, or he might send an email or something like that, but he'll never like send you a DM on Instagram or Twitter or anything. Yeah.
Shut your
That's
face.
where I mainly
I did get on my wife's Twitter today, and I did DM Jeremy and just sent him the link and said, hey, I need to have you on the channel so I can at least be linked to the Fandom Menace. I did name drop you. I don't know if that was a good idea, Ryan, but I said, look, I'm a friend of Ryan's, but I just wanted to say if you want to be on the channel sometime.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, if you used your wife's Twitter, there's a lot of women that, have emailed Jeremy saying that they know me from somewhere. So I don't know. It might have just got, put with the rest of them.
It goes into the spam folder.
Yeah.
Check later.
Probably so, but my wife doesn't use Twitter that much, and so she lets me use it every once in a while because, dadgummit, people are just so backward they can't answer a stinking email. So, I'm kidding.
It's true. What's up, Lance?
I am shaking my nuts off because Matt is part of the reason why I'm an EU fan today. So this is huge, man.
Oh, so you have unlike that, like this article has told us, you have heard of me then.
Yes, actually, I saw that article earlier today, and I'm like, screw this article. You guys have never watched a single Matt Wilkins video.
I don't think so.
Well, like you've never seen anything in Disney Star Wars, yet they think you're a part of the Menace. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It is weird because, like, I will say, Matt, I will say this: like 5 years ago, you were going pretty hard in terms of like being upset about what Disney had done and about so vehemently opposing the new stuff. Yeah. Now, I don't think it is for any of the reasons that, maybe, well, I wouldn't say that. I don't think that it has a large part to do with the reasons that I have been so critical in recent years of Disney Star Wars or some of these bigger channels like you're talking about. But like 5 years ago, there was a lot of people that found you because of your pushback against the new Disney stuff, but for many different reasons than like just identity politics or whatnot.
No, that's right. Because I was totally, I didn't like the rebranding of Legends. I didn't like that they were all the lies that they were saying was that, well, it was never considered canon and all this stuff. And I was never into any of that. Lance actually did a video about the Timothy Zahn Heir to the Empire books, the hardback and the paperback. Obviously you recall, Lance, you did the stupid video. But anyway, he said that Pablo Hidalgo pointed to that saying, see, it was always considered not official, but it just wasn't the case. And he's outright, I mean, far be it from Pablo Hidalgo to outright lie. He's never done this before. But the thing is, the man wrote a book about the expanded, books of the expanded universe. He knows full and well what the official stance was by Lucas.
Well, and Alora got him to admit that on Twitter about 6 months ago.
Yeah,
he responded.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Matt. Like, if you ask Lethal Lightning, he wants to, like, on the stream and backstage, whatever, that you were probably one of the first people to start talking about this before even The Last Jedi. about what they'd done on 425.14 and all that stuff. So yeah, you get credit from a lot of people for starting the conversation. And I haven't seen any of those old videos, so I didn't know if you went super aggressive, if you're just being yourself,
I was
which
just,
is a general nice guy. So
well, I did not like the lies that were being told about the expanding universe, and no one was saying anything on the internet at the time. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do videos on it, and so I did. And here's a fan,
dude. Siberian Dream, man, you need to get like. I'm gonna be totally honest here. I'm not gonna roast you. Like Siberian Dream, you need to get legitimate mental help. Like I've seen a lot of this stuff. Like this is somebody who I talked to a lot in voice chats and things like that over the years. Even like because he was a patron of mine, and even when he chose to not become a patron because maybe he was having some money problems or whatever, I said, hey, it's no worries. You can still have the access. You still come in and talk. Like I don't care about the money. You know, you obviously like being part of this group, and he has like lost his freaking mind. So legitimately, bro, I hope you put down the phone. I hope you get off the internet and actually get some mental help, because I'm worried you're going to hurt yourself or others. That's not a joke. That's not me messing around. That's me being 100% serious, because like something's going on, man.
There we go.
Ryan, your new mic is fire, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm digging it. I think I sound a lot better.
Yeah. You know what I'll say is Ryan brought Matt on his channel. Many people know about Matt because of Ryan. So I can't look. I'm going to admit here, I can't say I agree with everything Ryan's done or said, but
it's a smart move, Lance.
So Ryan, I mean, he did do that.
To be fair here, I was for that one moment, I was the bigger channel when I visited Ryan's channel.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Ryan had just started his channel not too long ago when we had hooked up, and now he is the famous one. And
the question is, was it before or after the unboxing video?
What, his unboxing video of all his?
Yeah, no, Ryan's.
It was
that was the first
one.
video.
That was the first video I ever made. Yeah.
You know, I saw that.
I thought, no, was it?
Do you know who told me about you, Ryan?
Christopher Nelson.
No, the crazies.
Oh yeah, that's right. A lot of the crazy people
told me about you, and I was like, well, here, I'll check him out. And they were even like, you should talk to him. You should. I said, okay. I mean, he's an EU fan. I'll talk to him. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll talk to anyone.
I mean, and in terms of like, in terms of the EU movement or whatever, what that was like addressing, right? What that was addressing there. Listen, I think that I would say that I helped out a decent amount in getting some money raised for that billboard. Yeah. I would hazard a guess at that we raised, and that was up for months and months and months. I think that it went up during the pandemic, so we ended up getting that billboard up there for like 6 or 8 months, Matt, something like that. So listen, I imagine that I've done more to talk to people about why I think the expanding universe was better, why I think that's the route that Lucasfilm should have taken, why I think that's what should have happened. I would hazard to say I've done a lot more than the person who was criticizing me in the chat has. I would never say I've done more than like maybe Matt Wilkins or somebody like that, but I mean, you're just kind of fooling yourself if you're that like triggered about everything.
Well, and here's the thing. I've heard this, and everyone has a right to there's Brian backing you up on your thing there. Yeah.
You go.
Definitely had influence in that. Definitely we had help with that. You're an EU fan is what it boils down to. Now, this is the whole reason a more civilized age, which this is going to count for a more civilized age for September now. But the whole reason I started it was because Ryan was getting hate at the time. And I wanted to make a point because, as I said on his channel a long time ago, I'm not technically a fan of Menace because I don't care about the new stuff. You know, that's one thing. Again, it's a different world. It's a different world. Different. Everyone can have different viewpoints here, but I won't get into the argument. Well, I don't know. I might get into the argument with not with Ryan, but that people have with Ryan. But it just didn't seem like my fight because I was just concerned about the EU going on. You know, that was all my fight was. Here's someone to make the panel look a little bit better.
Hi, you guys. I finally made it. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Laura.
What's up? Yeah, glad to be here. I seen you guys went through the article though. Yeah.
We
were talking about that.
Kind of
So,
just like it's kind of just a recycle article from 4 years ago with Matt Wilkins' name thrown in there. That's pretty much it. So.
I don't know, and it made zero sense. It made zero sense. But but the thing is though, I mean, I can't remember where I was going now with that, but I know that. Well, I don't know. I guess I'll drop it now. But what people, and this is how I view Ryan's point on the Fandom Menace and stuff like that and everything. They saw the movie, they were looking for something they enjoyed. They ended up not liking it and then voicing their opinion. That's how I feel. Now, if you can go in there and make an honest, just give an honest viewpoint on it, like they take your the Batman review kind of out of context. Because I remember when you streamed that live, correct? After you got out of the theater.
I didn't stream it, but I made like 5 minutes after the theater. I was in the car and I did like a video in my car. Yeah.
Okay. Because I saw it right as it came out. At first I didn't catch anything that could be inflammatory about the whole discussion, and then they started picking apart that one thing you say.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe it's been a while. Like, someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe what I did was I was pointing out the fact that it seemed like they were intentionally making essentially all the white people in the movie who weren't Bruce and Alfred bad people. Like even random people you saw on the street, they ended up being mean. They ended up being bad compared to how they portrayed everybody else in the movie. That's all I was saying. There's a line that came out about, quote, too many good black people. I don't think I ever said that. Like I will contend to that day I never said that. That's kind of what people like tried to pick apart from it. But it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy because that went viral. Viral.
It did.
And I still saw, I mean, legitimately, I saw no backlash from that. Like in reality, there was no backlash. There was no crossover with people who actually watched me or listened to me. So,
all right.
You mean you didn't get canceled? Jeez.
Prince Lethal asked if we've seen that 70s movie, and then he also says Ryan isn't a racist, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know Lethal was really upset when I explained it to him.
I need to have Lethal on here too. I need him to answer his email. I'm kidding.
Oh boy.
But no. Anyway, so that was the whole reason I had Ryan on there, because I wanted to show people they can have a different. Like I don't agree with everything Ryan says. I don't know if anyone remembers this. I don't like the Snyderverse. I'm not a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel you on that.
Actually, but that's fine because we can have this description like Geeks Addict was on there because he read new canon as well. So just to show that hey, we can have someone on here that reads new canon. He still does for some reason, even though he keeps telling me he's going to quit. It's like that smoker who keeps telling you he's going to quit, but just keeps going back, even though he knows it's bad for him. It's going to kill him one day. That's what Geeks Addict is. And I should mention Paperback Movies is doing a stream right now, and I apologize for doing this stream live. I usually don't like to do that when one of my friends are streaming, but I didn't have a choice.
This is important stuff.
Well, that's why Matt really wanted to go live on Sunday, at 6:30 Eastern, but decided, you know what, my buddy Ryan's streaming. I don't want to take away viewers. So
yeah.
You I don't care about, but I don't stream on Sunday afternoons anyway. But no, I like watching everyone else's stream. I mean, even when Rhino is talking about the latest Obi-Wan episode that I could care nothing about. I just have an F word counter on my phone, and I just watch how many he can say in 1 minute. It's incredible.
Now, if you were a drinker, you could have done every F word is a shot kind of deal.
Oh, no. You couldn't last that long. You could not.
20 minutes, you'd be done.
Right.
Then you could have done one for the other F word too. So,
but that was the whole point. That was the whole point of the show, More Civilized Age, was show that hey, you can have people with different viewpoints coming in and just enjoying Star Wars, and that's the whole point. Now, I'm still kind of going to make this about Ryan, just because this article came out. Obviously, it's a joke article, but I found it funny that my name was put in it. Ryan, what would you say? Because I was looking at a bunch of videos about the haters on you. What would you say to people who said they just don't like entertainment? That's it, period. Because I hear that a lot. You just hate entertainment, period. You just want to just gripe, and that's all you do.
Yeah, I would say that's crazy. Now, I think there are legitimate ways you could criticize. You could say this person has he's way too harsh about this. He judges things way too harshly. He's way too nitpicky, stuff like that, for sure. But with that being said, I think two of my favorite things that have come out over the past couple of years in entertainment, I've talked about just the past few months. The Terminal List on Amazon, ironically, and Top Gun Maverick. I loved those. And even ironically, in the Terminal List, it even has some things that normally I don't like, including a race swapped character, including deviations from the source material. Those things are in the Terminal List, but I still think it's an incredible show. And with the creator, Jack Carr, on set for basically every step of the way, he kind of understood that they had to make some changes from what he wrote in his book to make it make more sense in an 8-episode series, and the way things played out, the way things happen. And I loved it. I thought it was incredible. So the idea that don't like entertainment's nuts. Obviously, there's a tons of things from the past that I like, including Star Wars, even including the Star Wars prequels that I love to death. But maybe I just don't like the things you want me to like. Maybe you could call it pickier, higher standards, or you can just say I'm flat out wrong about what I'm looking for in entertainment. All those things are valid criticisms or could be valid criticisms depending on your perspective. To say I just don't like entertainment is a little bit crazy.
Okay. Well, let me rephrase then. They said, well, you don't make videos about things you love. You only make videos about things you hate. Well, what would you say that?
I would say that's also not true. Now, I would say that predominantly most of what comes out nowadays, I don't like, right? I don't like, and I provide feedback on those things. Things that I do like, I do make videos about. I will even say this. I think that I got more people to watch the Terminal List than maybe anybody else. I think specifically me. I think I was the first one, at least the first person that had a video that really took off, that was talking about the Terminal List in a positive light. And I think that resulted in a lot of other people watching it and then making videos. And it was, I think, to me, that is the thing I've gotten more people to watch than anything else I've ever done on my channel. And that's specifically because I thought it was really good.
Mm-hmm. But just on that point as well, in regards to people saying you don't make videos about things that you love. From my perspective, okay, I'm hating what Disney's doing with Star Wars, and that's pretty much predominantly what I do videos on. But I'm doing videos on the IP that I love. The problem is that what they're doing, I hate. So it's kind of comes from that perspective, if you know what I mean. I love this. I love this IP. I want it to be good. The problem is that what they're doing is really bad. So I'm going to point that shit out.
That's the same thing that a lot of y'all do. I mean, Laura, you've done that. Tim, you've done plenty on that too. And that's fine. I'm fine with that. The reason for me, and I've said this to Rhino and I've said it to Tim, I know for sure, but I was like, I just don't see the point. I mean, poor Rhino, it feels like he's torturing himself watching every episode. And that's not for me. But again, it's not for me though. It's not for me. It doesn't mean that's what everyone has their own ways of doing things. And Rhino, what you do is fine.
I feel like though they want us to shut up. They want us to just walk away and shut up. And I'm not willing to give them that win. I'm just not willing to let them have that.
But here's the fallacy though.
These people are crazy. These people are stupid. I'm actually going to do a video just on a few comments that people have put in my videos where one person says that the Book of Boba Fett comes before the Mandalorian. So that's why what you're saying doesn't make sense. And it's like, hang on a second. Are you watching the same thing I'm watching? You've got to be stupid. You have to be that stupid to say something like that. Mm. And if I'm ever that stupid, you have permission to... I'm not going to finish that sentence.
Well, here's the fallacy. Like, breaking down what actually happens in the episode is pointless because of what they're doing in the real world. And that's why I might talk about some stuff, funny stuff that happens that, is going around as a meme. But I'm more talking about what is Disney and especially Lucasfilm doing to us outside of the programming. And that's it. Because what they're doing, it means I don't even want to know that, there was a gate that they didn't drive around. That's kind of funny and stuff, but I'm just like, look what they're doing to us and gaslighting us on the Riva thing, and then saying, hey, we're making this for communists now with Andor and all that stuff.
Well,
that's what I'm worried about, insulting us like on a personal level. Like, hey, old fans, we don't need you anymore. The Star Wars account going crazy on Twitter. And it's just, I'm done. Like,
well, even the Andor thing with them saying that everything you thought you knew about the rebellion, you're wrong. Like,
well, I called that out in May. I called that out in May. I'm like, guys,
but as a Star Wars fan, who is okay with that? Honestly, as a Star Wars fan, who is okay with that? No one should be. And that's where I see the thing with the Tolkien fans and the Lord of the Rings stuff. It's like, why can't the fans that know the lore be united in that's what Star Wars is?
Okay.
Right. And
like
then my
they are
channel,
with, let's say, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but see, like I tell people who subscribe to my channel and become members, my channel is putting George Lucas's lore up front and center because we see these legacy characters like Mon Mothma. I talked about it this morning on Coffee Chat. We see these legacy characters like Mon Mothma being reinvented to where you don't recognize her no more. And that's basic. And then also with all this retconning of the lore, they may not do a remake of George's movies. However, they're retconning how people see them by the lore they're introducing. And that's the biggest thing that we got to share focus on is like, they're not honoring what George intended with these characters. Yeah, they have the rights to it and they can do whatever, but we're not probably going to remake them, but they're rebooting them through their retcons and stuff. And so keeping the true lore, the real lore up in front and center is what I want to do. So I'll be doing like a lot of Mon Mothma and stuff like that, all of her like lore videos pertaining to her. And that's what I was talking about this morning. And that's the focus for my channel is basically George Lucas era Star Wars and keeping the true lore in front of fans.
And just a comment on your channel. It's funny how you post a picture of your laundry basket and all of a sudden Stig's back on. I'm just saying. So, I mean, I can't get Lance to shut up on the stream, but I'm going to have to ask him another question here. Lance, I'm
a good listener. I'm a good listener.
You came in on this through a link from Mr. Nelson, and I feel bad. So I want to ask you a question here. Obviously, you are a big EU reader and everything, which I'd love to take time and talk about how you got into it later on. But what is your feelings and reaction toward the new canon? How do you react to it?
My opinion may be a little different. I'm younger, so I grew up with the sequels, right? Force Awakens, first Star Wars movie I ever saw in theaters. I still love that movie, by the way, and I always will.
Which
and
one?
I understand why people don't like it.
Force Awakens?
Yeah, episode 7. I got my issues with it, but and The Last Jedi, I loved that movie when it came out. I was middle school, probably, I don't remember how old I was, but 13, 14. So, but nowadays, I'm kind of indifferent to it. I hate The Rise of Skywalker, so I think I'm valid there. But I don't know. I do enjoy
just to be honest, I think you're valid regardless of your opinions.
Hey,
like you don't have to hate Rise of Skywalker or Last Jedi, whatever. Just differences of opinions.
Well,
did you think you'd hear that from Ryan?
Wow.
A lot of people wouldn't. People would. That may be surprising to a lot of people. So, not me. But a lot of people are like, if you hate Kindle, that's probably like the strangest thing you've ever heard of. Anyway,
Probably.
So I don't like Dave Filoni. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that I do not like him. I used to love him. I used to love Filoni, but I don't like Filoni.
Not to be unfair to you, but you were of the age to enjoy the Clone Wars. So that no apologies there.
But
let me ask you this, Lance. This is very important, and I don't care which way you answer. It's fine. But do you like Ahsoka? as a character?
I don't know. I mean, I like
It's okay
I
to
like a
say
lot of her
yes.
Clone Wars stories. I like a lot of her stories in Filoni's Clone Wars, but I think
Oh, he's gone. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wait, let me finish.
I'm totally joking, Lance. Please continue.
I will say she's definitely been milked. Filoni's milking her.
Ooh,
I mean, he
yeah,
is.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. He is.
I would argue that's the
He
reason
did
he
have
created
a great
her.
experience. But
Lino,
watching
where's your milking of Ahsoka video?
Oh yeah, Dave Filoni milking Ahsoka. Yeah, boy.
I don't
yeah,
know.
he
I
did
feel
have some kind of great experience watching her. You know,
He had a
I
religious
saw
experience.
that. I was like,
He did.
I mean, he considered a religious experience to watch Rosario Dawson. Yeah, and I'm like, I said,
Did he say this?
He
Yeah,
just
I watched an episode of.
I believe he said it was like watching the new Ahsoka series that he's making. It was a religious experience. So
Right.
he created a religious experience for himself because that's the kind of pedestal that Dave Filoni puts himself on. So
you know,
he
and
built
what's
a
funny,
church, and he's just amazed at his creation.
That's so bad.
Did Dave Filoni rest on the seventh day too? After he created the expanded universe.
He didn't need a
his
break.
Image.
He didn't need a break.
he hasn't
He
rested.
did break.
Yeah.
He hasn't rested because every show he's done for Star Wars, except like one, Ahsoka's been involved in. So he hasn't rested. So
Yeah,
man.
But I used to say a lot that he worships Ahsoka, just as just as a joke. Apparently, he actually does worship her. So,
and it's interesting you bring some of that stuff up, Lance, because I personally think that there are so many reasons to have a problem with what Disney's been doing with Star Wars, right? And before Force Awakens came out, I was in a bad mood. I already hated it for a lot of the reasons that Matt was talking about back in the day, because of what they did to the expanded universe, because of, seemingly the promises they'd made back in 2012 when Bob Iger talked about all these different stories, all these different characters that clearly are coming from the expanded universe. And then 2 years later to throw it in the trash, only to, like, for the sake of creative freedom. And then to me, Force Awakens, it was like, this is your creative freedom to me, which was just a really bad retelling of A New Hope in what clearly was supposed to be kind of like a fake Jaina and a fake Jason and like all this stuff. Right. So like that was originally a lot of the big problems I and so many other people had. Then it seemed like there was a lot of identity politics and true, like, whether it was a feminist agenda, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people then didn't like what they saw there. Now, in this kind of Mandoverse era, you have people finally, picking up on the fact that what Disney's doing with Star Wars has made it so small. It's like the same 25 characters are popping up in every timeline, on every planet, in every story, because it's like they need to rely on these cameos to like actually get people excited for it. So I think that, like, even though people's reasons for having a problem with what Disney's done to Star Wars may be very different, a lot of times you can still come together and have conversations like this because everyone agrees that kind of the way they're handling it right now is not the right move.
And to kind of, piggyback on what you said about bringing in cameos to force people to like it, didn't you love Abomination in episode 2 of the She-Hulk? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, and they said that, it's all going to count now. That's why we're discarding the expanded universe. Well, guess what? They had in the novelization of The Force Awakens, they had Poe and Rey meeting. But then when they made The Last Jedi, they threw that out and they had them meet in another event, another setting, almost with the same dialogue. So there they go already, like breaking the promise that they made to the new fans and I guess some of the old fans. So for me, they just don't have any credibility.
Absolutely. They've done that multiple times now in multiple of their books, their novels that, the Disney novels that have come out, and then they've done something to go against that. Bless you. Something to go against you. But yeah, it was.
Sorry.
Yeah, and to kind of comment on what Ryan said about cameos and familiar faces, that's one of the reasons why I don't like him anymore. I mean, I know Matt hasn't seen Book of Boba Fett, but there was a whole episode where Boba Fett wasn't even in it. So it was Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Luke,
Baby
Cad
Yoda.
Bane. Am I missing anyone? I feel like I am. I probably am.
Of course, Grogu. Yeah.
Grogu.
The only people that are going to get this reference, sorry, are me and Laura probably. We're the only old enough ones, but it's like watching Dallas, and there's a whole episode with the Knots Landing cast instead of the Dallas cast. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I remember watching that, and it's just like. Also, Filoni wrote it. Filoni wrote that episode, ironically enough. So it was just horrible, and that show itself is bad. But that episode, I don't know. And the fact that Ahsoka was in it, she didn't even need to be in it. She didn't do anything. She just
there was nothing there.
She was there. She was there to show that Luke is looking to her for advice. That's why she.
But not only that, they needed her to fill some of the dialogue that they couldn't get the facial stuff with Luke right. Because there was so much talking from Luke where his face wasn't on screen as well. But I just feel like I don't understand how people need to turn their Star Wars goggles off when they're watching it for a second. Because if I just go back to an episode of The Mandalorian, the one episode where Grogu's on the seeing stone thing that shoots out the beam, and that fight scene that happens throughout that entire episode, with Din Djarin leaving his jetpack on the ground, not even using his thing to get it back and running up and down the hill. And it was just really badly written. If you look at it in isolation, just from the writing side of things, how does this even pass as entertainment, as showing a consistent thing? I mean, we see it through editing as well. I don't know whether or not these people that are making these shows actually put up storyboards anymore. I mean, I've seen some pretty horrible shots of that they've had in She-Hulk recently. It's the same thing with the Star Wars stuff that they're coming out with. They've got these terrible edits, these terrible shots. They're just not caring to the point where, like I said before, all that seems to be important is we just better make sure that we've got a black character and preemptively, gaslight the fans, especially with the Reva thing. That was horrible. They came out before there was any real criticism coming, just to fucking, just to tell people, yeah, I know, I gotta keep pulling myself in.
Yeah.
Just to keep going, Ryan.
I kind of wanted to bring it back to what we started talking about 25 minutes ago was why talk about some of this stuff or why acknowledge it. So I can tell you that for me, 4 or 5 years ago, whatever it was when I started finding some of these channels, I thought that I was the only person that felt the way I did about Force Awakens. That's the way it felt in that moment. There was a lot of people that were just gushing over it and praising it. A lot of people that loved that. And I felt like I was the only one that was I don't think so. And I found other people who felt the same way and had arguments that were were able to say what I felt, but I hadn't even thought of being able to put it that way yet. Yeah. And I can tell you from personal experience, after traveling all around this country over the past several months at different meetups or fan expos or whatever, and meeting legitimately thousands of people at this point, I can tell you that I have people come up and say that exact same thing to me. It's listen, I knew there was something wrong in entertainment. I knew there was something wrong with this show, but I thought that I was the only one. There's not a lot of people who are willing to talk that frankly about some of these things. And by watching you, I understood and I found that I'm not the only one that thinks that way. There's a lot of people that think that way. And sometimes that's all it takes to hear it from someone else, which is why I'm not going to stop talking about this stuff or criticizing some of this stuff, because I think it's that important. And I think we are truly I think that there are people that over the past several years have taken over the entertainment industry to do exactly what we're seeing happen to it. And I think that's a result of people not speaking out.
Or Ryan, it's not just people that have felt the same way. I told the story on Twitter the other day. A guy saw this little coaster I have that somebody that used to work for me, she passed away from COVID a year ago, RIP, but she made this for me, Millennium Falcon collage. And he says, "Are you into Star Wars?" And I'm like, "Pre-2014 only." And he's like, "What does that mean?" And I explained all this. And And then he's like, wow, I never thought of it that way and all this stuff. And he's like, I'm going to reevaluate my position. I just pointed out all the stuff that had happened in real life and in the series. So it's also about winning over people that are normies that just don't think of it that way. They just look at it, they see the bright object, and then they give it their money and they move on. So it's also about that, winning over people that don't even think that way.
And I have a similar story too. One of my friends that I befriended both of my art teachers in the local college I'm here, and I was sitting there talking to her about Star Wars, and she's like, I can't wait to watch, was it the Book of Boba Fett? And I'm like, you don't want to watch that. It's revisionist history against George Lucas. And her husband walks in, and he's a police officer. And he's like, she's right. They are rewriting George's story and stuff like that. And so we started discussing all the dynamics on that. And then so she's like, and she's also learning how to do comics and, doing her own comics and stuff. And, I was like, I'm going to give you some comics. I said, this is a story that's the 100 and something odd years from A New Hope. It's Luke's ancestors are his descendants, basically. And I'm going to go ahead and hand those to you. You read them, tell me how you like them and stuff. And so we discussed Star Wars in general. She took them, went on vacation, read them. Her husband went and bought her the whole Legacy collection. And now she has my Boba Fett Blood Ties comics. And she's reading those instead of watching the Book of Boba Fett. And she's starting to build up her EU collection. She totally just backed away from Disney Star Wars. And so I'm very proud of her for that because, she does. Where I live in California, we're generally in what you call a red area. I'm in the Central Valley. And even my other friends. Yeah, so I'm in, like, even my other friend who's an art professor there at the college, he's gay, but he hates how the direction LGBT is going with their views and stuff. So we've had these kind of discussions and stuff, and they hate revisionist history, including what's going on with Star Wars. And so I've been a big, huge impact on her and her decision. So,
and there's someone that I've been trying to get back on the More Civilized Age show, Professor Geek. I don't know if anyone knows him. But he more talks like we need to, forget all the ideologies and stuff. They just need to get back to good storytelling again.
Mm-hmm, right.
Because what they're doing now is disenfranchising which is what they want. They want Lance's generation. They want Lance's generation to enjoy their product, to keep it going, to keep coming, to get their money. They're not interested in the Gen Xers anymore. Those are old people and everything. We want the new. Everyone wants the new. Everyone wants your demographic, Lance.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. But the thing is, what I'm seeing just in my
Especially
regular
Disney
life,
employees. Sorry.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Nothing. Keep going, man.
Well, no, I on my podcast, Prince of the Universe, I interviewed my little 12-year-old nephew, and I asked him about Star Wars. It's not that big a deal at his high school. Not many people talk about it. They know about it. Maybe one or two people have seen The Mandalorian or something, but it's not that big a deal. Like, they don't go rushing to the new movie. There's other things that they're more excited of than Star Wars. So the demographic that they're trying so desperately to get, they're not connecting to them in any way. Lance, you've even said over time, I mean, you liked the movie when you were what? I mean, well, you don't have to give your age, you don't want to, but
probably 10, 11, 12,
okay.
13, something like that.
Yeah. But as you're getting older, you're seeing that, no, this isn't for me. There's other stuff I can occupy my time with.
The EU.
Well, I mean, that's good. I mean, good on you.
The EU.
But yeah, I mean, but even that, like, my nephew was talking about all these other things that is more interesting to them than Star Wars. And so that's their real problem. There is the direction they're going is not, and to what I can see, is not bringing in
no way.
Look
at the hype. Look at the hype there was when The Force Awakens was being released. Look how much everybody was excited. Star Wars is coming back. Star Wars is coming back. A lot of people had their blinders on when they walked out of that movie, but there was still a major amount of hype behind Star Wars back then. You look at it now, like the release of Andor, like, honestly, who really cares? In comparison, there's no one talking about it. No one really cares about it. A few people will watch it here and there, and a few people will splurge over it.
And what we've seen, and Lethal and Ryan have done videos on this too a lot, but of the comic book industry in and of itself and how it's, disparaging fans from buying. I mean, who'd have thought that Superman and Batman would be, getting beat by some issue of manga who I've never even heard of before, but manga's just killing it all. So it's not that. And then Eric July's book Isom,
Rippaverse,
how much that got. I mean, and I love how the Ryan, watching some of your videos and watching other people's videos, I love how the one thing that they want to complain about is like, people are overpaying this. They're not getting enough. You think you're getting your money's worth for that? Well, you know what? Value is in the eye of the beholder. If they want to put up that money, then they want it. I mean, go ahead.
Sorry, Ryan. Have they been to the section with graphic novels at Barnes and Noble and know how much things cost? It's not a high price to buy Rippaverse. So
even American comic books, when you go and buy like the the combined ones where it's like 6 issues or whatever, like those are going to run you $20-$25, and those are not new. They're just combining a couple issues from a run of a series. So and at the same time, this is an independent creator. He doesn't have some of the same deals that a lot of these other guys have when they're buying in bulk, things like that. But at the end of the day, the market value is the market value. I think it's insane. Some of the ticket prices I see for baseball games or football games or whatever. Right. But at the same time, some people are willing to buy that. And I've spent outrageous things at a time where it's like, you know what? I don't want to pay this, but the Bulls are in the playoffs. It's in DC. I'm living in Virginia right now. I can't not go. And I'll pay an extreme amount for that thing. So, if the market, if P had sold 0, then maybe we could say, yeah, that's a little bit overpriced. Yeah. But it's something that's new. And it's something that now over 40,000 individual people have bought, and $3.5 million. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. And that just kind of shows you again, hey, there's a lot of interest in that, and that's fine. If they want to get entertained by some of the means, they can go ahead and watch the show. They can go ahead and do that. But I don't think what the choices, obviously, that Lucasfilm has made as a company is not attracting the fans like they want it to. But instead of saying, hey, we need to take a timeout and retool what our idea of what we're thinking about. We need to have someone. I mean, honestly, at this point, someone needs to. Kathleen Kennedy needs to step down. Or oh wait, this just in another rumor. Oh, she's gonna get fired. Okay, but either way, she has to step down, and then someone else needs to come in that is willing to say, hey, look, we've got to stop this. Ryan, you did a video on the guy from is it CNN? No, Warner Brothers, right? Who's kind of
David Zaslav,
and he's being called a Trumpist, even though he's really not. And I'm glad you mentioned that. But he's just trying to, in my opinion, it just looks like a guy that's just trying to look at the business dollars. Yeah. Look at you try to run it as a business, not as a political, platform. Run it as a business. Michael Jordan made the best quote ever. Even Republicans buy shoes.
Yeah, and that's how it should be done. I think there's a lot of people that are looking at David Zaslav and think he's some he's anti-woke. I think he just cares about money and running a business. And I think that's how it should be done. I don't think you need somebody in there that's the antithesis of someone obsessed with identity politics. Right? You just need someone who's just there to do business and sell things to both sides, entertain people. That's all it should be.
And hold on, Ron, I'm going to get this in just a minute. I just want to point on that. Bob Iger, to me, appears to be a business guy, but I don't know why he would. I mean, I don't know why he let things go the way he did. Just because if you look at some of his, I don't think anyone here read his autobiography but me. But it seems like he had the mentality that I got to make Disney for everyone. I've got to, make sure that we can make everyone happy, not just one side, not to push an agenda. But I mean, not to say Disney wasn't pushing an agenda before Bob Iger, but he sure as heck didn't throw a fuel on the fire like Chapek is. Am I fair in saying that?
I think that Bob Iger wanted to be president. And I think Bob Iger made some of these decisions to try to set up a political run near the end. And now I think that Disney has become so big, and I feel like they have given so much power to a lot of the parts of their corporate structure that are all about diversity, equality, inclusion, equal opportunity, like that kind of nature. I think they're all being beheld. I think they're all basically their backs are against the wall, or else they get held to their feet get held to the fire by people inside the company. That's what I think has happened to Bob Chapek and to a lesser part, Bob Iger.
Okay, real quick, Allura would win. Okay, so
I am not an EU character.
Well, I mean, you still win. Okay, so here we go. Go ahead,
Ryan. I saw this on Instagram and I took a photo, and I just wanted to say this is the fan base that like Disney's culminating. These are the fan bases that they want. Ones that don't pay any attention. It's just the flashy lights, and it's all about whatever they think is important, whether it be the female character or the black character or whatever. But this was a fan theory. The main reason Vader turned against Palpatine was because he realized that Leia was his daughter, and he was filled with rage that Palpatine lied to him about his children. Now, it is just a fan theory, but like
it's a fake fan theory.
If you've watched the movies, you can't even like. This is rewriting what we know actually happened, and how can you do that when we've actually seen it? And to me, it's just stupid. Like to even put this out there. And anyway, this is what I was talking about in regards to why I feel like I need to keep talking about it, because what they're doing isn't Star Wars. And I'm pushing people towards the EU, but at the same time, I'm going to point out what the shit is, what the stuff is that they're doing wrong.
Yeah, that is the very proof that I've been talking about. I think we also talked about unspacing, how they're changing the narrative of Star Wars.
Oh,
that's evidence to that. And people were talking about that, and they're like blaming Kathleen Kennedy because Leia is the one that's going to be more focused now, and they're taking the attention away from Luke, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, really? Well, Filoni introduced that in The Art of the Rise of Skywalker to make Leia basically the one and only. So you can't just point to one individual inside the inside Lucasfilm, and people put Filoni on that pedestal, so they fail to realize that he does have some say, because he uses the apprentice kind of card to as an authoritative stance when he in the company as well, and that's that. Yeah.
And to add on,
yeah, Blake's right. Marcia Lucas created the universe we live in.
There you go. Yes, and the Marcia, that's right. She is the key to everything that we're finding out. On the spacing, we're talking about on the spacing. Yeah.
To add on to what Rhino shared, it reminds me a few months ago after Kenobi ended, some popular Twitter account, I don't remember the name, they said in Kenobi season 2 they should bring back General Grievous, and I'm like,
it was probably Okira.
What is wrong with you? Like, why would you want that? He's dead.
He never. No one ever dies.
So it's
no one.
I don't understand. But if the EU did that, people would crap all over it. So,
well,
but it's okay if the new canon does it.
Well, I just love how people made so much fun of the characters and circumstances that happened in the expanded universe, and then went deathly quiet and even defended the choices, the silly things that have gone on in the new canon in only a short time. What did they have to pick on for the EU? It's, something from Star Wars Tales that wasn't even canon to begin with, was a joke comic book half the time, or anything silly from the 70s, Jackson, the bunny rabbit, something they can't even hide behind an ultra dated theory or, character.
Yeah.
And then I love how Timothy Zahn himself, I'm going after him for a minute here, would roll his eyes and talk about how pathetic a cloned emperor storyline was and how stupid it was. You couldn't pay him to say that now. You could not pay him to say that now. And every other person who wrote an article saying top 5 dumbest things, top 10 dumbest things of the EU, and the cloned emperor was there, and now crickets across the board because it's in one of their movies that they must love. I feel like there's this big And again, watching Ryan, if you don't know, folks, he brings out one video every other hour. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, he's editing, going to the bathroom real quick, and then putting out another video.
Well, I did edit and make a thumbnail and upload a video while we were streaming.
He's that good. He's that good, and he's not interested in the conversation. But
yes, I am.
He did the video about you did the video today, I believe, about the She-Hulk, about all the 10-star reviews, the 1-star reviews. And it's kind of dumb that this thing is turned into a, well, okay, if you lean this way, you're going to downvote it. And if you lean this way, you must have, a 10 vote, because you must force yourself to like something, even though it's not that good. But and that's how silly we've gotten at this point.
Yeah.
How silly it's gotten, because Ryan's right. They talk about how the 1-star reviews are a bunch of fake, but then I love when you pull up the comments on the 10-star reviews. Person goes, I'm just putting it, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm putting a 10-star to bounce it out against all these 1-star reviews. Okay, so you admit it's fake, and there's all this evidence in there, and it's both like that. So no scale will ever be fair and balanced like the way they want it to, because it's just gotten away. And it's funny to hear people who, obviously people are coming out automatically hating it, but at the same time, people are coming out saying, best thing ever. I saw someone, and I hope to have him on here, because I'm going to say, you cannot believe it was that good. But he's so anti-Ryan. This is one of the people I mentioned earlier, who makes like every third, fifth video something about attacking Ryan, that he has to say, oh, Ryan's going to hate this? Well, then I must love it.
Wow.
Damn.
I've got a lot of power, apparently. I can even make people love things as well as hate them. So there you go.
I'm
You're going to be governor of Florida by 2032. So
maybe.
Oh. Whoa.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm
political aspirations there. Here we go.
We can make it happen. We can cook up some votes.
Oh my goodness!
Any extra ones.
With the clips that are out there of me, I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Or it will happen, right?
I don't think so.
But to take it back to the beginning of the entire stream, articles like this one from El Pais on Matt Wilkins, member of the Fandom Menace, the reason they make them and they ramble and then they make the comparisons to Triumph of the Will and all that stuff, it's because they want to basically discourage anyone from associating in any way, right, with dissent against the big mega conglomerates. Mm-hmm. So, you better not criticize the stuff, because if you do, you're Fandom Menace. If you're Fandom Menace, it means you're an H guy, 1939 Germany guy, right? That's what they do. It's to discourage people from any kind of criticism, not necessarily that they want to destroy Matt Wilkins, the grifter from the Fandom Menace, or Ethan Van Sciver or Ryan Kennel. It's because they just want to discourage any kind of dissent. And places like that, like outlets like that, are allies, probably bought and paid for by the big entertainment companies.
Don't give Ryan credit. He wasn't mentioned in the article. It was me.
Yeah.
It's the whole.
He's been mentioned in other ones, though.
Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers and Ethan Van Sciver, which, when you think of it, all three of those names are synonymous.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah. It is funny. In the Rewriting Ripley one, I got a lot of mentions in that one, the newest one.
Yeah,
I like moved up. My power level moved up.
Oh,
in
you
the
have
newest Rewriting Ripley.
Definitely
you leveled up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's big wigs taking shots at Ryan. Big people responding to him and everything. I didn't know. It was kind of funny to see my name grouped in there, because if anyone does not have a social media presence, out of everyone here and your children.
Well, get this. There was one that Vanity Fair did, and they said, it is evil and it is, racist. And what about stuff like this? And it was a hyperlink, and you click on it, and it was a Ryan video. So they didn't want to say your name, right, to give you credit, but it linked to one of your videos. It's like, oh boy, you sure got him there, because you just gave him some views,
Right.
So
really?
Yeah.
I'll have to hunt that one down. It was from like June. It wasn't from that one guy, that Anthony Bresnikan, that wrote that slew of articles in May. It was from someone else. I'll have to hunt it down. But it mentioned all the names as usual, the Jeremys and Ethan's and whoever else. So anyway, that's why they do it, guys. It's because they want to discourage anyone from criticizing and band everyone together with Disney, with WB, with whoever the hell else. Paramount.
And I should clarify, I'm fine with people having problems with Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm not losing sleep at night, but here's the deal.
I'm not either.
I believe that a lot, not all, but a lot, especially from watching these videos, is that they're more mad at your success and your viewership and your subscribers and stuff than they are mad at your message, or they're mad that people are listening to your message, I guess.
Yep.
I think that's the thing, right? If let's be real, if I had 50 subscribers and was getting 2 views a video, no one would be making videos like that. No one would be caring about it. But it's because I'm getting traction, because it's resonating with people, because people are watching. Some people might be agreeing. Some people might be swayed by it. I'm not out there to change anybody's mind. All right. Like, all I'm out there to do, I'm not out there to convince you of whatever. I'm out there to provide you my perspective on something. If you find that while you're watching that, your viewpoint is shifted, or maybe that was something you didn't think about before, that's fine. That's great. That's not what I'm not trying to win hearts and minds. I'm literally just trying to tell you how I feel about something. And I fully welcome every other single person on the internet, even if they completely disagree with me, that you do the same exact thing. If that includes spending all of your nights and days, turning my notifications on to make sure you watch my video, even though you hate me, then so be it. I think that's what the internet's for. It's for people to have opinions about stuff.
Did you hear that, Rhino? You need to have more emotional opinions on things.
Yeah. I need more emotion. Like, I need more emotion.
More positive emotions.
Yeah.
You just need to tell us how you really feel about.
You don't want me to tell you, especially not here, how I really feel.
If I cannot swear on this channel, Rhino, you can do it too.
It's fine. It's
true.
fine. Go ahead, get it out of your system. Swear. That's fine. I don't care. That's fine.
I'll just censor myself. The narrative's beeped.
It's funny because every time I tune in to the full Aussie, I forget. I'm trying to get my earbuds in time before plug it in, because I think I was on there for like 2 seconds and I heard whatever. I was like,
Yeah.
And then of course Ryan's videos of watching him in the bedroom. I have to do it with the volume down if I don't have my earbuds with me, because every once in a while he'll let it drop.
That's right. You never know.
Yeah, well, I know that my oldest children are 3, and they'll pick up any words like that. It seems like all the other words just disappear, but from their vocabulary, they hear someone say that.
They know when it's a bad word. Yeah.
They suddenly know that's the word I should latch on to.
Well, I can tell you this, the term "cuss like a sailor," it really is true, because the first time my son came back from his posting, it was like every other word. And I'm like, damn, son, you need to take it down a notch.
I talked like that before I joined the military. So it was just
like you were at home then. You were at home. You were like,
No, I didn't talk like that at home because my parents didn't like that.
Oh, no. I meant like your verbiage. Like,
oh, yeah.
Was familiar.
Yeah. So, but that's the way I talked at school, like at events with friends, like everything. That's how I talked. So it was natural when I joined the military.
Yeah. When we picked up my son,
Ryan's. No, go ahead.
When we picked up my son from his after he graduated as a Marine and stuff, and we were driving home with them, and he picked up on that pretty much, and he's like, F this and F that, and then all of a sudden he was like, oh shit, mom's in the car with me, and so he kind of like buckled down like that, and he started giggling. I'm like, I'm expecting it to just do it. So.
Yeah, exactly. But I like when Ryan's in his element in Vegas at night, streaming away and just boom, letting it go.
That is you're not wrong. That is kind of my element. I like Nashville. I could just go live in Nashville forever. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, and going back to your point about what you do and how people connect. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when y'all did that first meet and greet in Vegas, that's when it kind of was like an eye opener to how many people were truly motivated or felt connected to what you were saying. Is that correct? Seeing their faces.
One of them, yeah. That Vegas meetup, yeah, that probably was a pretty big one. Obviously, that's because we did that last year, and we did it again just a couple, a week ago or so. I think a week and a day ago. And yeah, all of those, we find people that come up to us and are like, that's like inspiring. You know what I mean? So
let me ask some other guests. Lance, no offense that this question won't apply to you. Have you had, well, I mean, he's got a smaller channel, but y'all should go check it out. I've really enjoyed it. I did subscribe today. Did you? Hopefully you saw that.
I haven't gotten any notification, but it's YouTube.
Well, that's awesome. Then I subscribed a long time ago then if you didn't get a notification. Thank you very much. Like a fake fan. I've been there from the very beginning. But Tim, Allura, Rhino, have y'all been noticed in public about your YouTube?
No.
Okay.
I live in a pretty decent population center, but not to the point where there's a bunch of people into nerdy stuff. So
no. Okay. I have a couple of times. It's never around town, I don't think, but it is around when I went to cons a lot. I'd get maybe one or two people.
I did get recognized at the college in my art classes a couple of times. Yeah, so we have the people who do the young students who does manga and into Star Wars and stuff, and I'm sitting there working on my painting, and someone walks up and says, "Aren't you OG Star Wars?" And I'm like, "Hey, yeah," and then so we just start talking about Star Wars in general and stuff. So that's.
I thought you were taller. No.
Kidding. Yeah, I know. I thought you were taller. I'm 5 foot, so I'm I'm tiny. So yeah. So that was pretty cool. So outside of the college background, not really. So, but that's where you have like a hub of people coming through. Yeah.
By the way, I'm like 2 inches taller than Matt. So.
Yeah, I see that.
You are. Yeah, you are. And Rhino, the only reason people haven't recognized you yet is because y'all's whole country remains on lockdown for some strange reason. So
yeah.
No one can even go outside to even recognize you guys. So
that's true, but I think it's also because the majority of my audience is probably American. Anyway.
Really? Have you looked at your demographics on YouTube? It'll show you.
Yeah, it'd be about 60 to 70% US.
It's probably right. Wow. Yeah.
That's because ladies love your accent.
I have more English, like British.
That'd be true
Australia,
if there was like because you can see male and female, and that's probably not the case.
Oh, you can see male and female?
Yes.
It'll tell you the demographics for that. Mm-hmm.
Well, you actually have to have women watching your channel for it to show up, Matt.
It's the guys that like the boys.
Brian, what is your gender demographic? I'm kind of curious now. I didn't know you could see that. Maybe I should look at these demographics.
Mine's around 8 or 9% right now. It was so when I was on my Amber Heard tear, when I was talking about the Will Smith and the Amber Heard stuff, my female demographic got up to like 30%.
Yeah,
which was insane. That is an insane number.
I think there's an insane number of women who absolutely hate Amber Heard, and they want to hear any negative thing they can find.
But like big pop culture stuff like that, there's a more balanced female viewership. When it comes to like the nerd topics, it's just not as heavy. Yeah. And that's just the reality.
It's funny you mentioned that because I'll be honest, my wife, when I was clicking on the Amber Heard stuff, she would watch those and she would make suggestions to me to tell you to make a video of. I said, I'm not going to ask him. Like,
why not? I would have loved to.
How you didn't do Amber Heard poop in the sheets,
Well, I just thought everybody knew about that.
Well, but she wanted to hear you talk about that too. So, I mean, I was like, no, I'm not going to ask him to do that. But she was, it's funny you mentioned that because now I remember that those were the videos that she would watch with me.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's a reason there's been like this big push in kind of geek nerddoms over the past several years to like to get more women in positions of power and stuff like that. They want to like level out that playing field. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with something being a predominantly male dominated hobby because it might just appeal more to men. in the same way, there's nothing wrong with, you know, hobbies or genres or whatever that are predominantly female, like Hallmark Channel, like the movies they put on Hallmark Channel at Christmas. Those are predominantly watched by women. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a whole genre. There's like millions and millions of dollars that are being made just on that channel by, you know, appealing to the demographic that they know that they can appeal to, or that it's suited to. Nothing wrong with that stuff.
Rhino, I just have an idea. For the holidays, please review one Hallmark Christmas movie. Please, for me. You can tear it apart too. And I'll be a part of it if you want. I'd love to see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted also because I remember someone was talking about like impact we can have, whatever, expanded universe, legends, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to point out when I search Heart of the Jedi on YouTube, a couple random things come up from like years and years ago. But then the two top ones talking actually about Heart of the Jedi are Eckhart's Ladder, 42,000 views, and then mine at 39,000 views.
Yep.
All right. So I can tell you personally by how many clicks I saw on the link that I put, we sold a lot of copies of Heart of the Jedi just based off this video. And another video I did that I think was at 31,000. So, you know, we can have an impact on stuff. It's realistic.
And
oh, look at that. Look at that.
There it is.
And Eckhart's Ladder even came on More Civilized Age later on that month for us. It was really nice to talk to him.
It was awesome, yeah.
JT says, I found Matthew Ryan ever since. I've been thrilled to find out so many who are like of mine in the franchise corruption. Well, there you go. Thanks.
That's awesome, Jay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jay.
Now, we discussed Heart of the Jedi and then also Comic 108 on my channel this morning on Coffee Chat, basically discussing like for us EU fans, us hardcore fans, our elitists, you know, about having new content coming and how some of us don't trust the direction Disney will go with the new content and the writers, even the old guard writers from George Lucas era. Like, do we trust them now to not insert and follow suit with what Disney's allowing the company to do? So, you know, but my point is that 108 and Heart of the Jedi proved that we are willing to buy new content if it's done right. You know, and that's the beautiful thing about that. But do we trust the company to honor the old guard? That's the other question.
I'll trust him as much as I trust Timothy Zahn.
Right.
Well,
and that's another topic right there in itself is Timothy Zahn.
It's sad because, again, this is why I will eventually get Michael's name, Professor Geek, back on the show, because I do want him to talk about the importance of tell a qualified story. At the very beginning, Ryan's right. I did make a few videos now to think about it, about some of the books. Chuck Wendig, obviously, I poked fun at him relentlessly for a few videos. Where they were talking about for the first time ever, you'll find the story of what happened after Jedi. I'm like, wait, what? First time ever? Or that they marketed. What was one of the first? I can't remember what it was called. Maybe is there an early book called Lords of the Sith?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Is that the one that they marketed by saying, "Hey, we have the EU's first gay character"? That's all they could say about it when they marketed it.
I think that was
okay. Which one?
That was Chuck Wendig's book.
Oh, Aftermath.
It was Aftermath.
Okay. Well, that was
and they made it really weird. They made him really creepy.
That was the only way they could market that. That was one of the marketing points. I'm like, but what is the story about? You can't just market it because a character is gay and just be like, and then.
And it wasn't the first ever, by the way.
Again, the EU, yes. Even though they never actually said it, you know.
Well, at that point, we didn't even know that Lando was pansexual. That wasn't revealed until a couple years later.
All we really knew is that the tie went wibbly wobbly.
Yeah, it went herkily jerkily.
Herkily jerkily, wibbly wobbly.
It's funny because I think I did a search on Chuck Wendig, and the expandeduniverse.com April Fool's Day article came out from 2 years ago. It popped up where we talked about how Chuck Wendig he was brought back to complete Sword of the Jedi trilogy. Man, it's great. I forgot we'd done that article, and that was so funny. Did a fake tweet and everything to it. The Onion would have been proud.
I just do want to point out that I believe Chuck Wendig is the person, since we've been talking so much about Lord of the Rings lately, I believe Chuck Wendig is the person who basically said Tolkien's like the most overrated writer of all time because he wasn't able to get through Lord of the Rings.
His opinion is what matters the most. Oh, and I get this question a lot too, is about Rings of Power. Everyone knows I'm a big Tolkien fan, and my whole opinion of it, I was never going to watch it to begin with. I mean, the moment they said it's not based off the source material, I'm Outsville. No matter what they're going to do with it going for them, I don't want Hollywood to touch something that I love. So, but I mean, so regardless of what they kind of turn it into now, which, I mean, Ryan's given it a very positive review if y'all haven't been watching his channel. So he's trying to get me to watch it, but I'm just not going to do it. But hold on, Rhino, are you watching this series?
What series?
Rings of Power.
Oh, probably not.
Oh, okay. I didn't know, because you like to, I mean, you know, you like to torture yourself with these bad TV shows.
Yeah, who's going to have you on there?
I didn't even do She-Hulk. Like, I'm pretty much tapped out of Marvel.
Oh, I would love for you to see the first episode. It is right up your alley. I mean,
I made Greg piss himself laughing on Casual Rage because I showed him the scene in the courtroom where she does the fly kick and she punches her, and like he just lost it. It was so funny.
It's hard to believe that that's a real thing.
Real.
Like I almost was like, should I give them enough credit to be like, what if in the beginning of the second episode, it's like a rewind back to the moment where she decides to like turn into She-Hulk, and like that was what she thought would happen, but in reality she just like tripped and just like got the crap kicked out of her or something like that. Like that would have actually been good if they had done that. Like that would have been something funny. It would have been something good. It would have showed why, wow, she was way overconfident. She thought she could handle this stuff, but she couldn't, and like humble her. That would have been so great. But instead it's like, no, she got fired because she's such a good person. She got fired because she's so good at being She-Hulk. It's like, come on, man.
The thing that I hate with it is the fact that Bruce and Hulk were like two different personalities, but that she doesn't go through anything like that. It's just when she's the Hulk, it's still her, and when she's her, it's her. So there's nothing for her. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
Bruce Banner has to deal with like the guilt of just like killing so many people and like destroying people's lives and all these failures he's been through.
The guilt of taking his own life and surviving.
Yeah, like holy cow, man.
Oh yeah.
We can't talk about that. It's gonna go on too long.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's so much. Like I'm eventually gonna do a podcast when it's all done, but just breaking down all the stuff from episode 1 is just it's so rushed. It doesn't forget the CGI. The CGI is the least of its issues, in my opinion. The CGI, it's a TV show. I can forgive weak CGI, but the thing is, just based off the storytelling, are we supposed to like this character? Are we supposed to connect to this character? Because nothing in that first episode allows you to do that. She's insulting a legacy character who we've seen since the very beginning. So are we supposed to like you? Because you're saying you're making him look like a fool. You're making yourself look good. You're telling the camera, Deadpool style, I know she did this in her comic book, but it's not funny. And it's just like, it may be the first time I've watched a character in a long time that just doesn't connect to me. You know, it's like, what is there any redeeming quality about this person? And we didn't even get time to explore who this character was, because it feels like, I don't know. That first episode was a teetotal mess. Not even talking about the CGI. I could do a whole thing about not CGI.
Don't forget that Feige was really interested in exploring Steve Rogers' virginity or lack thereof. Don't remember.
Here's the thing. Forget that. And I know Ryan. I saw Ryan play the clip and everything. And here's what I was thinking. Okay, it's not that they were. To me, it wasn't that making fun of him being virgin. It was. You think that was the funny? Because remember, after the credits, they did another joke about it, right?
Yeah.
But it's not funny. It's not funny. It's just a dead joke.
The show's not funny, man. Like that's its biggest sin. is that it's like
Trying to be.
It's supposed to be a comedy, and there has been nothing funny about it.
Did you
like
did
that?
You see, oh, go ahead.
That
Did you
to
see
me,
episode 2?
I did, yeah. It was 22 minutes and like 30 seconds that didn't need to exist, and there's like no purpose behind it. It's such a waste of time. Like nothing happened. Like nothing happened.
Well, that's
So-
storytelling these days. That's the writing these days. Like they're either going so fast that you can't pay attention to what's actually happening. And when you actually do take a step back and have a look at what you just watched, nothing actually makes sense. And that's why it's going so quick. Or they slow it right down to the point where it's boring, but nothing is happening.
Can I ask everyone real quick, where was it that you just decided to tune out? What was the movie or the show that said, okay, I'm done, you know, I'm getting off this Marvel train. I'm letting off steam. Because at first I think we were all excited, right? The phase 1 stuff. And
Well,
Yeah.
or am I wrong on this completely?
probably
Doctor
around the time of Ant-Man 1. You know, I kept going just to see how it ended with Infinity War and stuff. But yeah, I never saw Captain Marvel because I knew this is coming out of nowhere. That stupid text he sends at the end of whatever movie that was. Was it Infinity War?
Yeah.
Where he said, and I'm like, this is shoehorned in. And I didn't even watch that movie. I'm like, I'm going to watch Endgame to see what happens.
Yeah.
And that was it. I haven't seen anything since. So
Wow. I actually enjoyed Ant-Man, but wow. Okay.
I don't know.
didn't
It
see
wasn't bad, but it was like, why? You know what I mean? It was like
So
another Marvel movie. So
Okay, no, that's fine. That's
I
fine.
was never a huge fan of Marvel. Like I watched, but I was what you call very, very casual. But I've been seeing the direction they were heading to, just like with Star Wars. So I'm like, no. So I kind of just like stayed away from it.
So to me, it was probably Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was like the moment where I was like, okay, this is like changed. And I felt like the first Guardians of the Galaxy was such a great success for them and like felt so different than a lot of what they'd done before. But I feel like they then tried to make everything in a Guardians of the Galaxy. And they tried to make every single character have to be like some quippy one-line person. Yeah. And so like after Guardians of the Galaxy, you go straight into Avengers Age of Ultron, then Ant-Man, like Tim was saying, and then you get Captain America Civil War. Civil War to me, I hated because it turned like such an important, serious storyline from the comic books into it shouldn't have been called Civil War, it should have been called Parking Lot Brawl, right? Like it turned it into something like so unserious. And instead of people dying, right? Like legitimately people dying. What you had Rhodey get paralyzed, which really has no effect because he knows the richest person in the world who can just immediately make it so he's not paralyzed again. Like he doesn't actually go through any trauma. None of these people actually go through like any long-lasting trauma. And sure, the split between Cap and Tony exists and does lead to what happens in Infinity War. But like he has his phone number. Like I don't know. It was just so dumb. And then I thought Doctor Strange was fine. I wasn't like super engaged. But then Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which to me, it was like, instead of let's see what we can do with these characters, let's just do all this surface level stuff that people thought was really funny from Guardians and do that times 10. That's what Guardians 2 felt like to me. Then you have Spider-Man Homecoming. Did not like that iteration of Spider-Man. Then you have Thor Ragnarok. And to me, like in that time frame, I'm like, this is wrong. You're taking a character who has been portrayed a certain way throughout 1, 2, 3, 4 movies, essentially, right? Because you have Thor, Thor Dark World, Avengers, and Avengers Age of Ultron. Right. And Thor's portrayed a certain way in those. And all of the sudden, they shift it for Ragnarok because they wanted to make it like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mythos.
And it's not just that Thor can be funny. There's a lot of funny stuff in the first 2 movies, but he's not a joke, which is what he gets watered down in the 3rd movie. Because I was the same way. I watched and I was like, okay, I guess we're just not going to get serious. Okay. And I didn't like it because it felt like it wants to be like Guardians of the Galaxy. And I remember I turned to my friend, I said, if this is what all Marvel movies are going to be here on out, I'm out. Because I can Guardians of the Galaxy, I get it. That's their shtick. But if you're going to make everything just one big outrageous comedy, and not anyway, I'm sorry, Rhino.
And with the same tone and everything. Sorry,
like
Rhino.
Thor's humor, like that's the thing. Not everybody has to be the same kind of funny. Thor's humor, even in the MCU, was an echo of what it was in the comics. His humor was from his like not understanding, like his ignorance. I'll say his ignorance of how we talk here on Earth. Right. And you don't change that. Someone who's been operating this way for thousands and thousands of years because they're God. You don't change that just because, he gets with Jane Foster. Right. Like that doesn't all of a sudden change someone's humor that way. And that I thought was one of the biggest crimes. Even if you don't like the first two Thor movies, it added a difference. And that was what was so unique about the first Avengers movie. Yeah. That's why it still holds up, is because you had these characters who all felt different and acted different, having to overcome those differences and come together. You don't have that anymore because everybody's the same person.
Yeah, and I kind of want to add to what Ryan said about Thor. I was actually thinking about this today. It's like, well, if he's this joke clown, why is he worthy of Mjolnir? Like, why would he be worthy of that anymore? And especially in Endgame when he's this fat drunk, I don't understand. So that's what I was thinking. I'm like, well, why is he worthy still? Just because he's Thor? That's not how it works. So that's actually a really good point.
Yeah. No, go ahead. So, well, Lance, while you're talking, what is there a point where you said, Marvel's not?
Well, I don't know. Anymore? I mean, actually, last year I watched pretty much all the movies up until Endgame for the first time. I'm not a Marvel fan. I mean, a lot of them were fine, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to judge Marvel movies. But what I got was, I'm not going to say this is a bad thing, but what I felt like was these are all basically the same movies. They just, changed some things. The characters would change. It just had the same basic formula, I guess. But I saw Endgame, and Endgame, I don't know. I didn't really care for it. So I kind of just stopped there. Plus, it was the end. And I don't know. I haven't watched anything in Phase 4. So it's not that I hated it. I don't know. I just didn't really care to continue it.
Lance, it took me 3 nights to watch Endgame. So, yeah, I know what you mean. I
watched it in about probably 2. So
yeah, it was like 3 hours too long. Rhino, what about you?
Well, in hindsight, it's kind of like Infinity War for me. If everything was to just end at Infinity War, I'd be happy. Like, it doesn't even need to come to another conclusion. Just like snap, half the universe is gone. Okay, good. It's all over. Like, that would be I'd be completely fine with that.
Ryan was just happy because Black Panther got erased.
Yeah, there you go. But I feel like I understand what Ryan was saying in regards to, everything being very much the same after Guardians of the Galaxy, and I completely agree with that. But if it was to just end at Infinity War, I could deal with all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But where it really, really got me was, like, I'd been watching Loki, I watched WandaVision, and I reviewed them and all of that sort of thing, and they weren't great. But I wasn't completely tapped out, I guess. I still was like, okay, what are they doing with this? Where are they going with this? Now, I didn't watch Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and I will never watch that movie because I refuse to see Charles Xavier get beaten the way that I've heard that he gets beaten. I just don't want to actually ever see it because then you can't unsee it. I know what happens, and that's enough for me. The amount of times that we see Charles Xavier get beaten and die throughout the times that we've actually seen him on screen pisses me off so much.
Yeah, but this time Patrick Stewart is like 80-something years old, and I'm like, please don't break him. Please don't hurt him. You could really hurt him. Be gentle. So
it's really the fact that Disney's now got their hands on the X-Men, and that really scares me. Like, I already can see what they're going to do with it. Are they still planning on doing that continuation to the 90s animated
I was going to say, wait till I think they still are, Ryan.
The Batman one?
No, the 90s
the
cartoon.
X-Men one.
Oh, X-Men 97, but made for current day. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, that's going to be a disaster. And anyone who
just-
loved the 90s cartoon should start crying now, because it's just going to be, and that's not me being just super negative. I think you should leave well enough alone and just not bring it back, unless you're bringing back the original creators. And maybe, I mean, there's some things that have survived. Cobra Kai did a really good job taking an old series.
Until Disney prove that they can actually just make some good entertainment again out of these franchises that they're just snatching up, like they're just taking control of every nerd geek thing that people love and then just destroying it with their identity politics or whatever it is that they're inserting into it, completely changing it. And I'm just like, I just don't want to see that. I would much rather go back and rewatch the actual 90s animated series than watching a continuation for current day, you know. Oh, we make sure that you can see yourselves. Like, no, go away. I'm done.
That's a good segue, because I was going to ask, when were you guys out on X-Men, whether it's the initial run or the, I guess, kind of rekindling whenever they came out with the First Class and Beyond movies?
Oh, First Class. Definitely First Class for me.
You were out after you saw it? You didn't like it?
Oh, it was terrible.
Mine was Apocalypse. Like, it was all the way to Apocalypse, because I was like, it's like every single one, it's like Magneto had the same story arc.
Over and over.
Like the same story arc over and over and over again. Like very reluctantly drawn into it, and then ends up doing it for kind of the wrong reasons. But at the end, he like makes the right decision, even though he's kind of bad. And, you know, finally Xavier's like, you know, Charles is like, Eric, finally you can join us. He's like, no, I just want to be alone. So he like goes off, be on his own and alone. But then something happens that draws him back into it. And he's kind of an antagonist, but kind of operating under the same, he still wants the same goal. And then finally at the end, he makes some decision that helps the X-Men, saves the X-Men. And Charles is like, hey, finally, Eric, you're on our side. And he's like, no, I'm really not. I just want to go and be by myself. Like, it's just the same thing.
We must agree to disagree.
Yeah. But I do got to get going, Matt. I'm sorry. I wish I could stay longer, but I got to bounce.
No, that's fine. We're wrapping up anyway. Thank you, Ryan. Guys, you can check out Ryan Kendall on the internet, the YouTubes. He's everywhere. He's on Geeks and Gamers, which
but not on an El Pais article. You can't find him there. So.
No, he's not in that one, thank God. But he'll be in other articles in the future. So if you want to hate on him, go ahead. He's also in Sports Wars, which is entertaining as well. And he's got 5 different channels. So
Matt the Grifter is doing a great job of shilling me. But it's always good to talk to Matt and be on part of this stream that we started to talk about people's differences, kind of, and how we all look at Star Wars differently. But it's always good to see Tim, Alora, Rhino, and Lance. It's nice to meet you. I hope you don't get any flack for being on the stream with me. I say that part jokingly, but part very seriously, because you never know what can happen. But thank you guys.
Disclaimer.
Later.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Ryan.
There you go. All right.
Good night, Ryan.
Bye. The other channels I want to talk about just very briefly, you should check out Open Airlock Policy with Tim. He's a really nice guy. I got to sit down, meet with him. I had the best time ever. In fact, I felt really high school childish because when I got home, I wanted to send him a text and talk about what a great time I had. But then I thought, that's too high school, man. I can't do that.
As long as you're not sitting on the couch by Chuck Woolery, you know.
I didn't. No, but I was like, God. But the whole time back, I was calling my wife. I said, man, that was so much fun. She said, well, good.
Yeah. And I think the other table started listening in because you got pretty loud, you know, so.
Oh, I can get loud. I can't remember but I don't remember.
We have love bots coming in. Look at that. Like they feel the love between.
See, now even the love bots are here now. Now it's a party. Where were you guys back before?
That was the timing of that.
So it's avert your eyes, Sheev. There you go. But anyway, Tim. So what's coming up on your channel?
Tomorrow night, the spacing. We're going to talk about this more. We're going to talk about the interview with the maker of Icons Unearthed, and I found out he also did Center Seat, a similar treatment of Gene Roddenberry in original Star Trek way back in right before Christmas, I think it came out. And I think Greg and I talked about a little bit of the first episode, and I couldn't even get through it. And then we're going to try to get back to Icons Unearthed EFAP. Because, by the way, we're only like on Return of the Jedi, and then they combine Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones, and then TPM is its own thing. But in that final episode, they go for the killing blow, and they just destroy George Lucas in it, like completely.
Wow.
Try to destroy his legacy. And it's almost like you get drawn into it like he's dead. Like you're like, whoa, he's still alive, so he has the opportunity to respond, which he'll never do because he has that FU money and stuff, so he's never going to care what they're saying. But yeah, we're going to try to get back to that. It's going to be awesome. And then nothing really else because I'm very, very busy packing, going out to the new house, at this house, doing a lot of different stuff. So probably not going to have a lot of like video type of content until I get into the new house. But yeah, this is awesome. Thanks for doing this, Matt. It's been a great night.
Yeah, it has, man. Rhino, what you got going on?
Not too much at the moment. I've obviously usually do Casual Rage today, but I had to go to work this morning, so sort of missed that. But that'll be back next week. We're creeping up on 100, so that should be cool. I don't know exactly what we're gonna do, but we're gonna do something special for 100 streams. And video-wise, I haven't really got anything planned, other than maybe just talking about how stupid some of the Disney Star Wars fans are in their comments.
Yeah, and I want to mention I'm really happy that I got you on here tonight because usually we are recording in the background when their show is going, and Thursday seems to be just the perfect night. It's the only night really Ryan can do it, which is why we record on that night, and so I never get to have you on here, and so I'm super happy that you got to join, brother.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you.
Always love coming on.
Yeah. Okay. Laura.
What's up? Okay, so of course my coffee chat every Thursday morning, 9 a.m. And this coming Wednesday, I'm doing HoloNet Journal, which basically goes into development stuff in the month of August pre Disney. So I'll be talking about important things that happen in Lucasfilm in the month of August, and just expanding on that. Tim's channel on spacing. And then I have a new video out. I discussed a little bit about concept art for Star Wars. I got a concept art book, and that's also introducing my coming series I'm going to do. You don't hardly see this on Star Wars channel. It's talking about Star Wars art, whether it's the novel or movie concept and stuff like that, and getting into the art of Star Wars. So I thought that would be fun as an artist to sit down and, compare and talk about the novel covers and, a little bit about the novels as well.
Awesome.
And then what else is going on? I do have a video that I didn't like my audio on, so I'm redoing, and it's the lore between Kenobi and Siri Tachi. That should be finally coming up here pretty soon. So a little bit of lore, a little bit of EU shorts, live streams, all that fun stuff.
Good. And I thought about you today. I'm starting back on the P90X videos, and I'm going, I bet a Laura could do this without hitting pause, but this guy can't.
That guy can't.
Well, yeah, this guy right here can't. So I'm like, I got to be better. I got to get better at it. Skirmitar is in the chat here. He's the one that does all the cool intros for you guys, right, Tim?
Yes, Skirmitar.
Yeah, I need to be friends with that guy. So Lance obviously has the most well-known channel out of everyone that I've had tonight, including Ryan Kennel.
There you go.
I pray if we can get you past 100, which is you're not that far off.
Right.
So you got to go check it out. He does do EU stuff on there. He's done a lot of streams. He's been doing a lot of streams lately, giving hilarious titles to each one of his streams too. But you can definitely give him his support. Lance, what you got going on your channel?
I'm way more active on Instagram and Twitter, especially Instagram. Instagram is where I have like almost 500 followers on there. So.
Yeah, go ahead. Give your handles on those.
It's on my it's on the stream.
Oh, it is. Okay, good.
Yeah, the Star Wars EU team.
There you go.
So on there, I have a series called "This Is a Fact," quoting Tenno Ka from Young Jedi Knights. Had to think of the series there. And I just talk about, EU facts and stuff that's happened in the EU detailed. Like for an example, I did a Delta Squad fact recently, all about Delta Squad, So, and I like the series, the post series is called "This Is a Fact," so quoting Tenoka. So, I do memes. I do a lot of memes. They're all original memes. So, and then on Twitter, I mainly just argue with fanboys. So,
oh, you need to teach Tim a thing or two about arguing with people on Twitter because he doesn't do it that much.
No, I don't. I leave that to Alora.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Yeah.
But yeah, my Instagram, that's where and I want to do more reviews on. I mean, I've read a whole bunch of this stuff, so I want to do more reviews on that. And really just, I want to make family trees. I love researching like the Skywalker family tree or the Fells or Revan's. I guess his family tree is kind of small. Or whatever else out there. I love doing the family trees. I think it's so cool to see the Skywalker family go from this little kid on Tatooine to this huge family that's galaxy wide. So there's a lot of cool stuff that I like to focus on.
Ooh.
Love chat, baby, love chat.
Oh boy, there you go.
Wow.
Plugging it. Yeah, go ahead on that. With me, guys, of course, same old, same old. I probably will not do a more civilized age. This was kind of what was going to be, but I was like, no, something like this, you got to just go ahead and go fresh with it. So I want to thank everyone who showed up here. I really appreciate that. I kind of changed this really last minute. It was probably an hour and a half when I text Tim. I said, hey, I think I'm gonna put something together. I talked to Ryan and I said, see if we can get that Rhino guy because I really like him, and Alora too because I guess we need a girl here. So,
diversity.
Lance was not invited, but Chris is, he notoriously gives out his invite to someone else. So you were the stand-in for Chris tonight, and I definitely appreciate Lance you coming in.
I appreciate the invite. Thanks, Chris.
That sure is. Oh yeah. All right. So anyway, folks, we will see you next time. Not on a more civilized age, maybe on this channel.